But what I'm getting at is that what's popular is usually the very thing that people are struggling with, they're having a problem with, they're being consumed by and possessed by themselves. I believe in democracy. I am a capitalist. I live in a capitalistic country, so that's that. However, I don't agree with any of the terms and phrases, any of the definitions that are so damn popular now, because the vast majority of them are selfish and lazy. The definitions, it has to do with personal evaluations, and these personal evaluations justify their behavior, and the behavior justify their role, and as long as profit is king, people will come second. When the development of our own people comes second, we've missed the whole point. But, if anybody understands the bounce put in one step when you have some change in your pocket, it's me. I understand money. It's just that I have values that keep it in check. And it's a state of tension. And as far as democracy goes, it's the majority rules. And that's fine. However, the lowest common denominator is what ends up being in the majority's agreement. And people complain about, what kind of politicians. This is a political year because, the president is being voted for. And this lowest common denominator thing is very obvious. What do people want, and I don't have an argument with it. It is what it is, and we are at where we're at, and it's best that we start from there. But when you realize that people have feelings that they're trying to process through their evaluations of things, and then exhibiting behavior to test these evaluations, and seeing which evaluations produce behavior that can sustain themselves in such a way that they become patterned and a successful role in society, you realize that there's a lot of room for mistaken identity. Now, my friend, he wants to find that identity that is true to the core of his being, and the exterior things are secondary to the primary experience of discovering who he is. Now, just like any of us, he wants to make who he is real. He wants to bring it to the world and share it, and joyfully participate with the world as it is. I mean, that's basically what we all want to do in a very general role, very general perspective. And there is all this rhetoric, all these rhetorical questions, and all these perspectives, all these wills, and then there's chance, and then there's necessity. Ultimately, we have to live our own life, and life changes, we grow. And there are expectations floating around all over the place. The tramp thoughts of other people's minds that make demands upon us to justify and rationalize their role they're playing in life, to bring value to them. I'm just happen to be in a situation where I can observe all this stuff, where I can talk about this stuff, and I see fit that to accept it. You know, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. I'm not making any big, problems for anybody. But as far as possession goes, being possessed by a certain aspect of our character, I've learned that in my experience it's important in order for me to integrate my studies not to take myself too seriously, not to take my responses to my studies and my experience in the outer world too seriously. Now this lessens the intensity of becoming possessed by a certain aspect of my character. By not taking it too seriously, I could step back and observe it. But as I was explaining to my friend, this can often feel as though, this can often produce an experience within us as though the magic is being drained out of the awe and wonder in life. But my point was that the awe and wonder in life stems from our surrender to our compulsive behavior. And we have to assess how we're behaving. If that's important. It's only important if there's a problem. If there's not a problem, these things don't really concern us. However, he's been mentioning the challenges that he has, and that's when critical analysis is required. Not all the time, but only when there's something we need to be concerned with, contend with, come to terms with. Auseinandersetzung.